YouTube family and friends, this is Mrs. SG, and today we are going to pasteurize a bag of straw as a substrate for mushrooms that we will be growing indoors. We'll be needing a cotton twine, pair of scissors, an old pillowcase, and right here we are boiling water to 170 degrees for sterilization. So we'll keep you updated. Hold on. Now that we have the temperature at 170, we'll have the whole bag submerged in water. We have the timer set for an hour, and we'll come back to you guys.
Alright, YouTube family and friends, I'm going to take over from Mrs. SG as I am home from work. We've boiled the water and we let it cool down enough for us to drain it out, and then after draining it out, we press to try to remove as much of the moisture as we can. We need the substrate to be slightly damp but not soaking wet. So we've done that. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to sterilize the work surface, and then I'm going to layer this in with our substrate. So I misspoke upstairs. We're going to add our spawn, and this is the mushroom spawn. They come in bags like this. So we have 2 bags. And we have pearl oyster in this bag, which we're going to do tonight. And we have shiitake in this bag, which I may do tonight, but I'll probably do tomorrow. So the process is really simple. You've seen us pasteurize the straw, and when the straw comes in bags like this, and there are lots of different materials that you can use as the substrate. You can use straw, you can use corn husk, you could use wood chips. You can use pretty much whatever you want, depending on what mushroom type you have. Some substrates do better with certain mushroom types. So we have boiled the straw and we have drained it, and it's still draining a little bit. And as I get it out, I've sanitized my hands. I've sanitized our scissors that we'll use to help cut open the bags and do some things. I've sanitized our tray that the substrate will go in, layered with the spawn, and I've sanitized the top, and of course I sanitized this table to the best of my ability. So the next step is to layer some of the substrate down, layer some of the spawn on top, and then you just do it like lasagna until you're out of substrate and you're out of spawn. So that'll be the next thing I do. Yep, we try to reuse everything we can, so it probably would be quicker to cut this bag open, but we're going to save this, because what you can also do if you don't have a tray like this one, you can make a dome with these bags over a 5-gallon bucket, a 2.5-gallon bucket, anything you have like that. And you can use these bags with holes poked in them, which is one thing I forgot to mention about these trays. These trays are designed for seed starting, but they have a lid that you can adjust the airflow. So you want some airflow for the mushroom, but you also want it to be semi-self-contained so that you can control the humidity level inside. So we're going to get started with our spawn. In this bag we will cut. And since I've sanitized my hands, actually what I will do, I'll get a scoop for this. Even though I've sanitized my hands, I don't want to take a chance on contaminating it if I've got something under my fingernail or anything like that. So I will be right back. That must be. And then you just layer it in there. And once I get this layer in, I'll add some more of the substrate, the straw, on top, just like making lasagna. And this straw is damp, so that'll give the mushrooms the initial moisture that they need to get started, because mushrooms do need quite a bit of moisture. And the dome, I'll spray this dome each day, once or twice, maybe once in the morning, once in the afternoon when I get home. And in a few weeks, 5 to 6 weeks, we'll have some nice delicious mushrooms to eat. And if you don't want to do it this way, you can always buy a pre-made kit that already has all this done for you. It comes in a bag or in a container, and all you have to do with that one is open it up, slice open the bag, and get started on your mushrooms. So I'll bring you guys back as soon as I finish layering this in. So I underestimated a bit on how much one of these containers would hold. So this bag, dry, easily would fill this up, maybe halfway. But once it's soaked with water, of course it expands, and then you add the substrate to it. So I had more than I felt comfortable putting in here. So what I did, I already had some of these seed trays, which basically work the same as this one. You've got the base, you've got the dome, which helps control your humidity. And this one has a similar dome. This one, I'm not quite sure where I purchased this one at, but this one I got at Park Seed. I may have ordered this one from Park Seed or Burpee or one of the garden centers, but this is designed for starting your plants in the winter, spring, before you transplant them out. This one's the same way. This one actually, I'll do a future video on how these work as far as seed starting, but for today it's going to be mushroom growing. So it works the exact same way. They're both basically the same design, different manufacturers. If you can see this one has a slightly different humidity control. This one slides back and forth, whereas this one rotates around. And actually, I like this dome better, because this one you can just stick your finger in there and see if you got it set for airflow or not. Let's see. So that's fully open, fully closed, halfway, and you just want to play around with it, because the next thing I'm going to do is use my spritzer. So I'll use this spray bottle, which came with one of these. I don't remember which one. Actually, it came with this one. And you just spritz so that you've got some humidity. This one already, you can tell it's got humidity in it. This one does not. So what I'll do every morning and then every day when I come home from work, I'll spritz this down. And it doesn't seem like it's a lot of moisture, but the moisture that's in here just over time will evaporate, and it just needs just a little bit more to stay moist enough for the mushrooms to get comfortable and start growing. One other thing about these that we're growing here in the house, we won't put them in direct sunlight. I will put them on the grow shelf over there, but I'll turn the grow lights off where I'm placing these, so the only light they'll get is some indirect sunlight and just natural, or not natural, but the light when I'm down here working or doing something, they'll get the ceiling lights, and that should be fine for them to grow in. So I'll mark both these with today's date. Today is December 12th, I believe. Yep, December 12th, 2018. So I'll mark both these with today's date so I know when these were put together. I'll put the mushroom type on there. I'll actually probably cut that, because this plastic we won't reuse. I'll just cut that off and I'll put it on one, and then I'll make a photocopy or I'll do a sticky note. And this bag actually tells you when it was started. This was started 11/13, and it's basically a month later. So when they put together to inoculate the spawn, it's ready in a few weeks, 3-4 weeks, ready to go out so that you can start growing mushrooms. So, and no offense to Mr. Rick over at Old Camp Ranch, but this is my disclaimer. I am definitely not an expert. So I've been doing this for a couple of years, so I feel comfortable doing it. But if you're going to, where's the light? If you're going to grow mushroom yourself, you definitely want to read up on it so you feel comfortable with what you're doing, because you know you don't want them to get contaminated. You don't want anything bad going in your body. But me personally, mushrooms are one of the easiest things to grow, so that's just me. That's my disclaimer. All right, Rick, the check's in the mail. So these two are done. I'll clean up my workspace. I'll put all this stuff back. I've probably got 4 or 5 bags of these. These are really pretty cheap to buy, but you don't have to buy them. You can get your own. We grew corn this year, and I didn't think about it at the time, but really we could have saved our corn husk, let them dry out, put them in bags, chopped them up, and then dried them out, rehydrated them, and we could have used that for our substrate. So, you know, just a process of learning. Next year we'll do that. We'll save a few dollars from buying that when we've already got material here. Again, you can use wood chips, but you definitely want to pasteurize whatever you're using, because we know there's microorganisms, living organisms in pretty much everything, but you want to pasteurize this, and Mrs. SG showed you guys earlier in the video how to do that. So we put the substrate in boiling water. We boiled it for a full hour, and then we let it sit, cool down enough for us to strain and to add this. You definitely want it to cool down before you add your spawn in there. But that's it. If you guys have any comments, leave them. Any questions, leave them down below in the comment. And it's just a real easy thing. If you guys enjoy fresh mushrooms, this is one of the ways to do it. Next spring we might do some plugs and some logs again. If we do that, I'll bring you guys along for that part of it as well. So I guess I need to get cleaned up, and I'll do the other one tomorrow because I don't want to stay up too late tonight. So hopefully you guys can see me along with many of the books I got back there. This place is it's a mess. So as always, this is Rob at the Sapper Gardener on behalf of my family, my lovely wife Mrs. SG, who helped start these while I was at work in DC today. God bless our great country, America. God bless you wherever you may reside around the world. And God bless your garden. And if you're growing mushrooms, your man cave, that you have bountiful harvest. Take care.